topic. I wanted to get a chance to address this right now. So, T-Pain has been in the headlines for speaking about Drake. For those who didn't see it, T-Pain. So the title of this is T-Pain Can't Have an Opinion. So what happened? T-Pain just verbally, I don't know what podcast it was on, but I'm going to show you a clip of what T-Pain had to say about Drake and how Drake got into his feelings. No pun intended. All right. So listen to what T-Pain had to say about Drake. Listen to this. Fair use.
The one thing I learned from Drake, and here's the crazy thing. One thing I learned from Drake, but one thing he hasn't followed his own words. Mm-hmm. Drake said, I want to be one of the people that gracefully bow out and not get kicked out. I have ever since said, you really thank y'all. Yeah. I appreciate y'all. I see y'all when I drop. Don't worry about it. I'll just drop something. Yeah. Let me know if you heard it.
Yeah. Fair use, by the way. I don't know whose podcast this is, but shout out to these brothers. We'll keep it going.
Drake is like, no, listen, okay, I got another one. Check this out. Check this out. Y'all didn't like that one? Okay, real quick, just one more. Let me try one more. And then he's the person that he said, he didn't want to be. Mm-hmm. And I learned that from him.
Okay, so that's all that T-Pain said. And then Drake actually responded. He said, this guy always has resentment for me. You can hear it every time he speaks my name. Now, I don't know what Drake is referring to. I'm not familiar with what T-Pain actually says about Drake, but T-Pain speaks his mind. T-Pain, I don't know if he has a podcast, but I heard him talk about it. I don't see what the problem is what T-Pain said about Drake. All he said was Drake doesn't follow his own advice. Drake has said since he started becoming popular that he didn't see him rapping past 35. Then 35 came around and look at he's damn near 40. So I don't understand for the Drake stans, why are y'all so upset about what T-Pain said? What I saw people say is that T-Pain wants Drake to retire. T-Pain wants Drake to quit rapping. T-Pain didn't have as many hits as Drake. T-Pain this, Drake that. And let me address you idiots. Because I'm not even being funny. I feel like a lot of Drake fans are idiots. Real talk. I think that what T-Pain said is just calling Drake out for what Drake said that he was going to do. That's it. All he's saying is what I learned from Drake. Drake said that he was going to do this. He didn't. So what are y'all tripping about? All the Drake stans, the OVOhoes, he didn't say he wanted Drake to retire. He didn't say that Drake needs to quit. All he said was what I've learned from Drake is that, he doesn't follow his own footsteps. He don't follow what he says. But you have people who are in their feelings and all this other stuff. What you say, Ashley? You said I could be wrong, but all of this could have been avoided with the LAC for a porn company. Everything covered. Yeah, no, that's true. Ashley is talking about the Diddy situation for sure. That could have. That's something we could look at. But back to the Drake thing. T-Pain, and one thing that happened is Chris Brown actually stuck up for T-Pain because there was a lot of slander going around T-Pain. There was a lot of people talking trash about T-Pain, saying he didn't have as many hits. Let me tell you something, man. Shout out to Breezy, because Breezy said that T-Pain is a legend and all this other stuff, and he had ran the game for a minute, which is all true. Put some respect on T-Pain's name. T-Pain is one of the dopest live performers that I've ever seen. T-Pain actually ran the music industry, from like 06, 07, those were T-Pain years, as far as singing. Everybody wanted T-Pain on their record. T-Pain was booming. It's just what happened is the rap game took his auto-tune, and Jay-Z came and killed the auto-tune temporarily, momentarily, until Future came around. Now, T-Pain did have resentment towards Future, and T-Pain does talk out his neck sometime, but in this one, I think he genuinely was just talking about Drake. Shout out to my godmother, Miss Arnetta Miles, in the building. But the thing is, I don't see a problem with what he said. Drake has some of the most idiotic, sensitive fans out there, and it's like they lack logic. And it's like, if you listen to what he said, he's critiquing him. Now, if you want to defend and say, man, people change their minds all the time, people will say this and then say something else the next day, I get that 100%. But don't get it out of proper context. T-Pain did not say he wanted Drake to retire. And I would have loved to hear the clip before that to see how they got into this conversation. But from what I've seen, all it looks like is that he was just saying Drake isn't ready to retire. You know, follow your own advice. He just calling him out on that. What's wrong with calling somebody out on that? Okay. But you're going to respect T-Pain. Now, T-Pain can't make a hit these days. Auto-tuned. He sounds, to me, in my opinion, T-Pain sounds too much like 2006, 2005, 2007. And even the songs that he has that came out, they just don't, to me, they just don't sound modern. He has a dated sound with how he does the auto-tune, which isn't his fault, but we're not going to act like T-Pain isn't one of the dopest artists that ever came out. He revolutionized auto-tune as we knew it. Was auto-tune used before T-Pain? Absolutely. But nobody did it like T-Pain. Outside of Future, I'll say. I give Future that. But what T-Pain did, if T-Pain didn't come out, we wouldn't have had a Future. If T-Pain didn't come out, we may have not even had a Drake, to be honest. Like, you know what I'm saying? This because Drake utilized the auto-tune. A lot of people did. But y'all need to put some respect on T-Pain's name. You really, really do at the end of the day. So we have to give T-Pain his flowers. I don't think there's anything wrong with an artist speaking their mind. And see, the thing is, because I get this too. You know, when people disagree with me, J-Red, you know, the first thing they'll do is go and see the link in my bio and see that I rap, that I'm a hip hop artist. And what do? They'll look at my streams. They'll look at my Spotify streams and Spotify followers and stuff like that. Just like that's the only streams that I get. There are other streaming platforms that you get, you know what I'm saying? Or as if I put out music this year, which I have some more music coming out. Ashley, Once 3 is on the way, by the way. Ashley, if you're watching, Once 3 is on the way. But yeah, exactly. It's like they look at you and try to belittle you. Even if you have 1 million views, right? They'll say, well, you don't have 2 million views. You know what I'm saying? If I have 100 comments and people are talking about how much they like my video and stuff, a hater will be like, well, you don't have 300,000 comments or just whatever. They'll just say anything. You know what I'm saying? So people will talk trash about you just to fit a narrative, you know, and support somebody they like. You said Crash Dummies Podcast. What is that? Kia, what is Crash Dummies Podcast? But anyway, yeah, put some respect on T-Pain's name, which leads me to